Sooners got their quarterback, so you know we got to dive into the fact that Bo Bentley is in here on the Sooner or Later Sports Show. Thank y'all for pulling up. I'm your boy Jay. He's pulling up here on the YouTube channel and listening wherever podcasts are downloaded and listened to. While you're here, please wipe your feet, like, subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. I don't think we deserve it. Go ahead and give us 5 anyway. And gift it. So we got to show the excitement, baby. Bo Bentley is in. We got the quarterback that the squad wanted. So Coop is going to jump in when he gets a moment to dive in. So, hey, thank y'all for pulling up. Please show your excitement. I put out a video also as well that I already made because I was in preparation for this bad boy. So come on in here. Give me your, get excited. Go ahead. Give me your feelings, your thoughts, and all of that. This is an opportunity for y'all to celebrate, get excited. Y'all knew that we knew something was coming down the line. We just been waiting for the goods to populate. But thank y'all for pulling up. We're gonna look at Bo Bentley as far as a prospect. We'll watch a little bit of that film. We're gonna lose our minds a little bit because I told y'all it was coming. Some of y'all didn't want to believe your boys, but I understand. There's a lot of stress to go behind this whole situation. And yeah, man, I'm excited, man. Oklahoma has been working their tails off to get this bad boy done. It was the unfortunate, of course, casualty of losing our guy, Jaden O'Neal, but this bad boy has populated. We have John Mateer as your quarterback. So get in the comments. Want to hear y'all's thoughts. I'm going to talk, of course, some of the measurables. And you're back, no Texas style. I totally love that. I love that. Nagy and them have been working their tails off. And yeah, we got the Red Bentley in. So this weekend, of course, is Champion Barbecue weekend. As y'all know that, I have a list that I'm going to go ahead and go through on this live as well. So we'll dive into that. But yeah, this is commitment number, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is commitment number 10 in this class. After losing, Jaden. So this is number 10. And then we will see a couple more commitments probably pull up over the next few. And then, of course, the man, the myth, the legend himself is now here. That is not the person that I thought this was going to be. Oh, there it is. Let me close that out. Coop! What's going on, man?
Hey, Jay. Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, man. You sound
Okay,
fantastic.
I can't hear you guys, so I'm going to work on that. But man, how exciting! Feels good. It feels like I'm doing like a pre-recorded here. But obviously, rumblings, rumors, a lot of here and there. This was a battle between LSU and OU for quite a while. This was an Arbuckle pickup that he was in on pretty early. And this is just this is a big piece because I think there's more to come, and you can't help but get excited because, man, if some of the other rumblings and everything are true, this could end up being a great weekend.
Yeah, and PG asked a great question for you, Coop. Did the Red Bentley seal the deal? I heard you bought him a Bentley. Is that what you did? So the funny thing is Coop can't hear anything right now because Coop is trying to get his headphones and his sound going properly. But did you give me some feedback? But anyway, PG's asking the question, did the Red Bentley seal the deal? In which, let me be honest, it probably was because that's what Coop purchased that young man. But no, I'm excited. We got the quarterback we've been looking for. We're now ready for Champion Barbecue weekend. Again, as I mentioned, thank you for pulling up. Hit the like button. New to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5. I'm going to put together this list that I have. I have a ton of visit stuff to put out there, and so I'm a show you all who's there or whatnot. We've got one more person that has joined the stream. Give me a second. He ain't been here in a bit, but he's actually at home for a change. We got PG in here. PG, what's going on, man?
What's going on? I'm always on the road now.
Yeah, he don't be around like well, I'm always on the road too, so it's not like I don't travel as much as well, man. But hey, let's talk about it, PG. How you feel about this latest pickup?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a great pickup because a lot of the comps that you've seen from insiders, whether it's at 247 or even just a lot of the independent people, they give a lot of comps with Bo Bentley around John Mateer. And one of the things that I found really intriguing was last week at the Burt Venables camps, I was walking, I was talking with somebody while everybody was kind of warming up, getting ready to run through drills. And I was like, hey, like, what's up with these rankings, right? Because Jaden O'Neal has fallen since he's gotten to Oklahoma. Bo Bentley's had kind of the steady rise. I kind of understand that, rankings at 247 and on 3, they're kind of driven by how you're going to get drafted. But I felt like Jaden O'Neal was a great NFL prospect. And it was like, hey, well, Jaden hadn't really had a lot of film because of everything that was going on out there in California. But Bo Bentley, when you look at his film, he is, if not the most elite, but definitely one of the most elite quarterbacks in this class when it comes to he gets in trouble and he gets outside the pocket. He makes great decisions.
Yeah.
And that is why Bo Bentley is ranked where he's at. And I was like, okay, well, that's definitely going to play because in the SEC, you're going to be put in a lot of tough decisions. And if you already, at this young of an age, have an elite mind and great IQ to be able to get out of those situations, that's going to play and that's going to translate at Oklahoma.
Yeah, and I like that, as pointed out here, the comp for him is definitely John Mateer, which is a good thing and a bad thing all at the same time. We just got to make sure that this kid actually performs to where, he is definitely a Mateer-like. But watching the film of him, dude, my favorite part about him is that he's willing to run through people's throats, like run through people's chests. Coop, as you know, we've talked about him a few times and just watching the film, like right here, this play right here, he runs right into a safety and gets his touchdown. So that's like a good one that some guys talking about him.
It's the stuff it's the stuff like, remember watching Baker when he would take off and you're like, no, get down, especially after the TCU concussion, his first year. But how are you going to tell someone to not compete? Right. I've been doing a little John Wick binging the past couple nights, and they say it in that movie over and over and over. It's like, you can't ever escape who you are. And I mean, the guy is a competes at such a high level. And but I caveat everything we say here, Jay, to say like, man, obviously we're excited about John Mateer. And nothing that we were going to say as far as like him being a big competitor and him being, a multi-talented dude. There's no knock on, Jaden.
Not at all.
And so I know that all three of us feel the same way. But I don't want to see any of the slander out there on Jaden, and not that I've seen any at this point. But this was somebody with a new staff coming in. It's hard for you to go out and tell your OC, hey, we already got this guy, but we want you to do what you want to do. But we got this guy, so let's stick with it. But do what you want to do, because it's kind of talking out of both sides of the mouth. And, I've said it a couple of times in the past, with a guy like him, how many games did he lose last year in high school, Jay? Because
0.
Okay, exactly.
16-0 at Salina, Texas, 4A Texas football. But he also accounted for 4,200 yards and 63 touchdowns. 63. That was not a mistake in what I just stated. I said it exactly what it was. 63. Absurd. And prime time, which is funny. Yeah. But Bentley did run into that safety for no reason. Actually, his reason was he wanted to hit somebody.
Hey, you set a tone. Man, like it's just, we've all been watching Thunder, right? And everybody's like, well, how does Shea do all these things? Well, here's the thing is, if Shea doesn't also deliver some back, he's only taking the punishment over and over and over again. So, You just got to do it this way. You got to do it this way. And what's really crazy is you watch all these highlights, and when you're watching highlights and big touchdown plays and, really, really neat plays, exciting plays, you're like, yeah, but they really, they just really cherry picked for this video. I think he did enough on the field this past year that you didn't have to cut much out.
Yep. The numbers were there, 100%. So, yeah, the numbers were there. So it doesn't really actually matter when you say that, right? Like, we've seen quarterbacks put up
touchdowns.
Numbers. Yeah, it's 4,200 yards and 63 touchdowns. We've seen high schoolers put up some numbers, but
and there's somebody down south, Jay. I just cut you off like the 8th time so far.
It's okay.
But
I'm excited too. Go ahead.
There's somebody down south that never threw for 3,000 yards at any point in his high school career, and he's already won the Heisman this coming year. So, just let's keep it a buck. Like, this guy is productive, and I think the comps come with Mateer is you saw him account for 42 touchdowns last year, and I think 28 of them or 18 of them were rushing. The guy was just all over the place. So there's a lot to be excited about when you see this. And we go back to the adage, if you got a quarterback that you really believe in, your team elevates their play. And
every time.
I think that this is one. And I think that we'll see it this weekend with folks wanting to jump on train too.
Yeah, and I am so excited about having this. And this weekend's going to be fun. That's why I want to pull PG in here. We're going to talk about that. He'll have a video with a lot more details about who he's looking at and what he's planning on doing. But there's going to be a lot of visitors this weekend. And what makes this commitment so big is that it's going to be part of a busy weekend for the Sooners. Now, Bo Bentley can go out there and truly influence who all is going to join him in his class. That's huge. And like I said, I love Jaden O'Neal. Y'all now know that about me. I mean, we've had him on here numerous times, and we've talked ball with him. One of my favorite dudes. And I wish him nothing but the best. And he's going to do well out there. I mean, wherever he goes, he's going to do well. He's just got to make sure he's in the best situation for him and his true skill set. And I think that he'll be fine going forward. But the good thing is we got the quarterback that matches what it feels like Ben Arbuckle wants to do going forward.
Yeah.
PG, how you feeling about what Bo's going to be able to do influentially? Because I know you've talked to a lot of the recruits, especially the ones out of Texas, who know Bo Bentley. How is he basically, how do they feel about him as a prospect and then particularly playing with him?
Yeah, so I mean, it's no surprise, right? Recruits watch a lot of the same things that we watch. They see social media, so they see the Elite 11 results. They see the numbers that Bo Bentley put up in Texas. And then also, the recruits, a lot of these wide receivers, they look for the best quarterbacks to go play with. It is by no means a coincidence that LSU was recruiting Bo Bentley while they had Tristan Keys committed. Tristan Keys and Bo Bentley talked to each other. They were friends. Now, that does not mean Oklahoma's going to go after Tristan Keys. That's not going to happen. That's off the table. I'm just saying elite wide receivers look for elite quarterbacks to go play with. And I think you're going to go ahead and start to see that a little bit here. Like, Oklahoma's got Dallas Dickerson going to be on campus. I really like where Oklahoma currently sits in that recruitment. If I had to take a guess, I think Oklahoma on the 24th is probably going to get some good news there. I really like where Oklahoma sits with Dallas. You've got a couple other wide receivers that are still on the board. Daniel Odom. This is a lot of people that think because Jaden O'Neal's out, Daniel Odom is going to decommit. That's probably not as done of a deal as I think people think. Daniel Odom actually really likes Bo Bentley and what he brings to the table. There's a good chance that he might stick. There's a good chance he wants to stay and play with Bo Bentley, which means Oklahoma might only have 2 wide receiver spots, maybe after as early as this week left open. So, yeah, no, recruits love Bo Bentley. They want to come play here. I definitely think you're going to see a recruiting surge. I think I set the over-under at 4.5 recruits coming out of the Champion Barbecue weekend. I definitely think we could probably see, if everything goes perfectly, 2 weeks worth of commitments, because we know how Oklahoma likes to do it. They like to give everybody their own day. You could definitely see at least a week worth of commitments coming out of the Champion Barbecue. Bo Bentley being the start of that.
Oh, Jay, now you're muted. The audio's,
Muted.
man.
I am muted. That was me. I muted myself. Muted myself because my dogs were barking. But
I thought that was a turkey. It sounded like a turkey in the back of your house.
It did. Yeah, dogs was losing their mouths, losing their minds. But Bentley's Measurables, 6'1", 200 pounds. As you all know, 4-star across the board with everybody. On 3, 247, and Rivals have him right about, if not top 50, just under top 105 in the country. ESPN hasn't done their updates this summer yet, but he's 261 right now. Most likely will jump into the top 100 on their next update. And yeah, so he 6'1", 6'2"-ish. I saw him standing next to Mateer. They're about the same size. Let's just put it that way. Let me see if I can find that picture. I know I have of both of them together. Yeah, that's the one I was looking for.
Hey, John Mateer and Bo Bentley look the same too. Like, look at their hair. They got the California style hair. You know, you think back of what's that movie where they were like Sunshine? You know, that's what.
Sunshine. Remember the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you think about when you see him, PG.
I think of Sunshine. That's what that's what I hear in my head.
You've just creeped me out now, sir. Just FYI.
You play to win the game.
Fair.
I'm just going to get started.
That doesn't mean I ain't creeped out by it, but yeah, no, he size-wise, him and Mateer are pretty close in size. Let me get this picture together so y'all can see it.
Yeah. I feel like
get my life together.
I feel like Bentley might be a shade taller. And hey, obviously Mateer has been lifting some weights. So I just like the hard work. If he does, have the ear of, if those guys continue the relationship, however long Mateer is here, obviously that's just a continuation. And then obviously you got Michael Hawkins, which dude just keeps on stacking days and getting bigger too. So he's got a good group in front of him to kind of lead him the right way.
Yeah, he does. I'm pretty excited about what we have, I guess you could say, here for the future with the quarterbacks and what, Ben Arbuckle has an opportunity to work with. So here's a picture of them two together. I'd say he's got them by a hair, but he's also wearing cleats in this picture too. So I think they're probably about the same if I really think about it. But it's done. It's over. The commitment is done. We're not having to chase. Yeah. We don't have to chase anybody else, guys. Oh man, the stress that I was feeling from losing Jaden O'Neal, and everybody's wondering, is there a chance where we would lose out on all of our guys? And I'm just like, please don't be this way. Don't do it.
Obviously some of the jokes in the discords and stuff are, if our 27, which could be at Peyton Houston, determines that he wants to move to Oklahoma, that we all have to we have to sabotage that. But it was a tough time because, there was a strategy in place to where at once it was, hey, we want 2 guys because we need more bodies in the quarterback room. But then as Bo Bentley continued his rise, it became more and more apparent that wasn't going to be on the table, I don't think, from either side. And as time kept on ticking, it was, what if we lose both of them? And I don't think that was a plan that the coaching staff and Jim Nagy wanted to go at. I think they would have taken it in stride, but we don't have to do the ifs and buts anymore because it's all settled now.
Yep. Now it's the focus is 100% on the weekend in front of us. And as y'all know, I've put together my barbecue list. There's players that I had that I thought were going to be here, ones that did not look like they're going to be able to make it. Let us know what y'all think out there. Hop in the comments. Want to hear your thoughts on the John Mateer win. How excited are you all about this beautiful W that we've been hoping that we would get? So Champion Barbecue Weekend starts now. Bo Bentley is here. Now that he's committed, he's in, and he's here to put in work. Got some big names out there. Wide receivers. We've got Jordan Clay, Daniel Odom, who's already committed, coming in from California, possibly a Zachary Turner. PG, what you think? Like, I know Craig Dandridge had posted he was going to come, but it doesn't look like he's going to make the trip. What do you think about the guys he's going to be throwing the ball to?
Yeah, I really like Dallas Dickerson. Out of this list, Dallas Dickerson would be the one that I feel most confident. Well, Dallas Dickerson, I think he's on campus, but I don't think he took his official visit the week of
last
June
week,
6th.
right?
Yeah, he took it on the June 6th, so he wouldn't be an official visit. But I think he is coming to campus, if I remember correctly. Dallas Dickerson's the wide receiver that I think we're going to see probably shut it down. I know a lot of people are high on the Zachary Turner. I'm just not there yet. Duncanville, it kind of scares me. Oklahoma hasn't won a lot. And then the one guy we had the best chance for in KJ Ford, we've kind of moved off of. So Craig Dandridge, it seems like a Georgia lean. Again, not feeling too great there. But Daniel Odom, like I said, I think he stays committed in this class. It sounds like he likes Bo. I still think Bo's going to have a pretty good group of wide receivers to throw to. With, like I said, if we land Dallas Dickerson, you get Daniel Odom. I think Oklahoma will find a couple more guys in there. I really want a guy with size. Jaden Pettit was one guy that I really wanted, 6'4". I want to see Oklahoma maybe try to close the deal there. Don't know if they can do it, but I want some sizable guys in that room. I don't want to take any more guys under 6 foot.
You go back to, just this time last year, we were talking about, could OU potentially take 5, 6, 7 receivers, and we ended up with 2. So like, you got to keep it going. You got to keep pushing on these guys. Obviously none of this is over. And that's one thing I do highlight is none of it's over, especially with, just a lot of the focus being on the rev share and everything. You got to continue because people are going to have conversations. So they're going to keep on pushing conversations. They're going to pit, each one of these wide receivers against the other guys and say, hey, you're one of just a group going to go into OU, but we can make you the headline recruit coming here. We saw that, from Nebraska last year. So, if you're in the chat, Warren, as long as it stays, I'm cool. Listen, Bo Bentley is sticking wide on rice, but I want to see some of these wide receivers make the call and really hop in. And PG, I 100% agree with you. I think that Dickerson is the one that I really feel like, that might be the next one.
Ooh. Yeah, with Jordan Clay, it's an interesting prospect. I don't know if he'll actually end up making it in. I think there's a lot of question marks around that recruitment. It's heavily involved. You got Texas in there. Jordan Clay would be phenomenal. Top 100 player, 6'3". But again, I'm kind of wondering, does he actually make it up to Norman? If he makes it up to Norman, I think Emmett Jones, Bo Bentley can close the deal. Obviously, he's in the state of Texas. I've never talked to Jordan Clay, but I would be interested to see if there is a connection there between him and Bo. But that would be the only one outside of Dallas Dickerson that I would be looking at and saying, that should be one that could land in Oklahoma's way. That's one you'd want to pop off here in the next week or two.
It's actually not too bad. Well, from there, you've got a lot of, you got Ryder Mix is going to be in town. PG, I know you got to fight around with your camera real quick because you are chopping up and everybody's getting a good kick out of how you are all over the place. Your voice sounds great. It's just your video is even more hilarious.
Dude, it's the MacBook. I gotta get a Mac Mini or something. The
Mac Mini goes hard. I've got one. I've been using it. I had one for a bit, got rid of it. I now have a Mac Studio, and believe me when I say it is elite. Yeah.
Hey, I'm on the MacBook, and but also my router is like 3 feet this way, so that's huge.
Yeah, I'm plugged
That's
right
right.
into mine too. I'm plugged directly in via
Right
the
as I said that.
Ethernet. And if I said that, you get a glitch. You're not as bad as PG though.
Yeah.
PG needs to go ahead and start
That
make that
was
investment.
me hitting a chord.
Classic. Hey, I'll leave the Macs alone. Truth, we'll fight over that. I love my Mac. I've been a Mac person for a while, especially doing content. But anyway, defense side though, PG has jumped out for a sec. Let him get his life back together. I will clear him out. So we got a couple more predictions that have come through. It appears that Oklahoma is sitting pretty with a OK prep in Taj Overton. Cool. He's in town this weekend. He's one of the many visitors. How you feel about that one?
It's Taj had such a spectacular sophomore year that I think that people expected just this, linear rise, going into his junior year. And Owasso literally was the brass balls play of the game by the Bixby coaching staff in the state championship, going for two. And that's how Owasso lost the state championship. And it's because Owasso had a lot more, a lot more guys around him in his in his junior year. So I think that this is an in-state guy that you definitely want to have in. You want him to be part of this class. He's been a target that the staff has been drilling over for close to 3 years now, and so him coming in town, he's been pretty quiet. I know that they actually was a couple weeks ago. They had a scrimmage against Mustang, and so we saw the Jaden O'Neal picture with Overton, and so got to feel pretty good about him at this point. The one thing that is kind of crazy about all this, I saw somebody in the chat mention it, that these recruits are seeing OU's Twitter just go absolutely berserk. It just more and more, and I don't doubt that even the Thunder traffic is helping out a lot too, because there's a lot of excitement right now. You're coming home, Game 7 on Sunday. You got this barbecue going on, and obviously you get your headliner of the class, kind of reinstated in your quarterback. And so I hope that Taj Overton, has his decision pretty much made up at this point. I would say that I feel pretty safe saying that I think that there's going to be a week filled of recruits. Some guys have their dates set. Some guys still have no date set, but they've got their finals in. So Overton's one of them that I would like to go ahead and count my eggs before they hatch, and move on to another DL in Jay Cruel. He's another dude who would really, really like to see something swing massively in our favor this week, because he's a dude fresh. I think he just came off his Ohio State visit, and so now Oklahoma, and it's kind of getting down to the end. So there's a little
we're getting
Bo
there.
Bentley. Yeah,
we're roughly at the point where it feels like we're getting to the end of the line, and for those that are uninitiated in Oklahoma recruiting, typically the vast majority of the class is complete by around the last week of July. You get usually one or two bigger ones in August, and then occasionally you get one there at the end closer to signing day based upon how the season goes. But for the most part, this is about it. We're about done right now. And this weekend is going to look like that, as so many people that have potential to sign is coming in. So you see Bo Bentley here posting here on the X-Bird Sooner Nation. Let's go. So of course, he's very much excited. I wanted to pull up one of the CBs that we definitely did get, which is coming in for our boy Taj Overton, probably one of the bigger ones, as it looks like Bill MB from Ole Miss and SMU.
Yeah,
he has basically put in.
That's a pairing.
Yeah. He put at SMU. I know that's a interesting pairing, but he put in his prediction there that he thinks that it's a done deal as well for Oklahoma, and that's huge to me because let me add PG into this. Why is that acting weird? That's a big one, mainly because the competition is now, it feels like they're throwing they're waving the white flag, right? That's what you want. PG, how you feeling about Overton? Oh, PG, you there?
Oh no,
Did he freeze
frozen
again? He
He
froze
may have.
again.
Either that or he's giving us a profile picture.
Yeah, I think he's not realizing that he's actually live.
Has
Which is fucking hilarious.
anybody done a health check for our LSU friends on their message boards?
Oh boy, you know it's bad over there right now.
It's the tea leaves have been spinning in the cup for quite a while, but that hope was, I mean, down to the last drop. Even last night. Usually when the white flag comes out, when it's all of a sudden, screw Oklahoma, tampering, and everything like that. But I mean, it's a tough deal for LSU because they lose Underwood, and then now it's Bentley, and I mean I just feel like this is a big season, and I can promise you this is I know we talked about it in our schedule breakdown as we're waiting for PG to get his life together, but we said it in the breakdown. I mean, like, this is a year where there's a lot of expectations for LSU, and losing these recruits teamed up with, in their heads, they're the king and the ring leader for the SEC this coming season. And if it doesn't go that way, we might be seeing a little coaching change. So you got to just hope. I mean, you got to hope, that Brian Kelly just does enough to stay there, because as long as he's there, I feel like that's a easier game on the schedule.
It does. And I'm wondering how they're going to completely feel about losing. I know that the message board was melting down not too long ago. And I know you saw the video of the preview of college football 2026, I guess that's the year it's going to be. And they've got LSU in that video playing its LA Tech with a game-winning field goal happening. So sounds like the game is trying to predict that they think that man's going to be on the hot seat for not winning enough, which is even more hilarious. When you think
I'd rather actually read tea leaves than a video game, but
fair.
That's just me.
Actually, I want to see them lose. That's actually all I want to do is see them lose.
Hey,
I do have to hold that over people's heads because it's always a fun time. Man, y'all have really pulled up. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button. New to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. What's going on, Jason? We're talking about who's classy, who's being classy. What y'all arguing about in here? Oh, no need to mention LSU. Be classy, guys. No need to mention LSU. So, guys, go in there and mention LSU nonstop. There's no reason to. I was getting yelled at. I did have a lot of LSU people yelling at me a little bit on the social medias that there was no chance that they were going to lose this recruitment of Bo Bentley to us. There was like 0 chance. And I just laughed. I said, okay, if you really think that, there's always a possibility, only because Bo's family's all Sooner people, man. So we know that he's got a love for it. So anyway, I know PG's still working on his sound over there. Whenever he can hear us, he will probably try to come back in here. But we've got a lot of people that are there's a lot of good visitors coming through. You got another crystal ball from Devon Robinson, the interior offensive lineman. So like y'all know we lost Will Conroy. He flipped his commitment from us to
North Carolina.
Yep, he flipped to North Carolina after he did a visit, which was a little bit more interesting to me. That actually kind of came out of nowhere, in my personal opinion, but whatevs. But now we've got a CB coming in from Josh McQuistion, one of the guys we trust out there in the streets. Let me put that up here real quick. He's putting in a little confidence that he's going to get. PG, can you hear us? He can finally hear us. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna get you added in here. I see your mouth moving, but I can't hear your words.
I see. It looks like I'm looking at him without my glasses. But hey, a blurry PG is better than no PG. There you go. That looks good. That looks good.
Yeah, if PG's back. Doesn't look like his internet stopped working.
Didn't work.
There we go. See, that's your problem. You got to stop going with all these random computers, man. We are not here for the random stuff. We are here for the stuff that we know works. But speaking of which, Devon Robinson out of Pasadena, Texas. PG, how you feeling about this kid?
Yeah, it sounds like early going into the weekend, Oklahoma is probably the leader, and Oklahoma probably has a good shot at closing this one out. If you remember, this was kind of a later kind of roll around for Oklahoma. They kind of offered him a little later than some of the other schools, but pretty elite talent. This is a guy that probably plays center. I don't think he's your Will Conroy replacement, but definitely Oklahoma's in a good spot for Devin Robinson, and I could definitely see him, depending on how this weekend goes, trying to lock in a spot with Bill Bedenbaugh and the staff.
Interesting. So you see him more as a center, not really a guard.
Not really guard, but I think he's a guy that probably is a little bit more flexible, a guy that can play both. So, one of the things that we really noticed with Bill Bedenbaugh and his recruitment with offensive linemen, I'm not sure if the chat really catches on to this a whole lot. Bill Bedenbaugh likes to recruit him guys that can play multiple positions.
Yep.
Right? He likes guys that can flip to either side. And Devin Robinson's a guy that can do that, and definitely a guy, though, that I could see end up playing center long-term here in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
6'2".
Gotta correct. Yeah, got to correct you guys. Robinson. Everybody keeps on saying Robinson, and I promise you, I saw an interview with him, and he's like, "No, man, it ain't Robinson. He did it twice." So,
yeah, I was thinking, Robinson, but it's Robinson, not Robinson. Yeah, I try to make sure I didn't add the N in there every time I look at his name. I look at it specifically, and say, all right, there's no N. Do Robinson. Anyway.
He's big. Whatever his name is, he's a big dude. And
I don't want him to hit me, man. He's 6'2", 330, man. He's legitimately that size. He's actually a really big kid. I actually like that about him, too. But playing center will be, that's a nice spot at that size. Question is, how good of a move is he, or how good is he at pulling?
Well, and I don't know if you've seen this guy in person, but he carries the 330 pretty well.
Yeah, I'm seeing him next to Bill Bedenbaugh. Well, old Bill Bedenbaugh, and he looks good.
Bill Bedenbaugh don't look like that no more.
Bedenbaugh's been on one of them shots, or he's just been in the gym. But yeah, he has slimmed down quite a bit, because I saw him up against, what was it, Wilkerson's kid, and a couple of those other Hackett. Bill don't look like an offensive line coach anymore, but he's still Bill.
That's true. Yeah, he's lost some beautiful. I got to give it to him, man. He looked good.
Yeah,
he's
been on those Schmitty in the summertime.
Pause. I'm not pausing. He does look good. He looks great.
I don't think he's been running at all with Schmitty and the guys. I think he's got a private workout going on, or like I said, a little one of those shot programs. I don't know much about those things, but I hear they work for folks.
And that's weights, which is most important.
Listen. For Oklahoma fans, you're not getting any 5-star offensive linemen in this cycle, but
that's not happening.
Because I definitely think in this cycle, Oklahoma needs to focus more towards the interior offensive line, because you did such a good job last cycle for tackles.
Yeah.
And then also, next cycle, Oklahoma's probably going to get at least one 5-star tackle. At least one.
Probably get 2. Oh, we'll probably get up even. Hey, it'd be nice if we get some. Well, if anything, you want some high 4-star interiors next year with a 5-star tackle, because you're going to get at least 3 years of play out of Fogier and Fasusi, and I expect both of them to get a lot of run this season.
Well, and Deacon Schmidt is a great tackle option in this class
That's true.
I think a lot of times when we talk about potential commits, gets glossed over. But his love for Oklahoma is insane. And Coop, I know you did an interview with him. When I had him on for my interview, he literally had just gotten off the phone with Bill Bedenbaugh while he was working on his truck.
Yeah. And we're working out a date for next week to have him on again. His commitment date is the 28th. Which kind of is reminiscent of Mr. Afalava last year. I think the timing is pretty similar too, if I'm not mistaken. I think Darius was towards the end of June, but yeah, he's a dude who just absolutely works. And if you've seen the interview, you watch his Twitter or anything, yeah, the off level was June 28th, so the exact same day that that Deacon Schmidt is going to be. And then you also have some ties. He grew up playing with alongside Brett Collegier, who's down at IMG, and I know that if he makes the call for the Sooners, that's going to be a conversation he continues to have. And yes, you get a great offensive lineman, but then also you just keep that IMG pipeline cruising. With the potential of Jay Cruel and with Collegier. Now, I don't know where exact Collegier is at right now. I don't think it's anywhere towards an OU lean, but it's not like it doesn't look like I'm angry when I'm interviewing. I do my best. That's not angry. It's concentration, because I'll look outside and be like, oh, look at the sun coming in the doorway. He looks a little pale. I should probably go out and I get lost. So just like there.
Hey, by the way, something hilarious that just popped up. Hayes Fawcett just put out a tweet. 5-star LSU wide receiver commit Tristan on QB Bo Bentley committing to Oklahoma. No, why don't you come throw to 3 top 10 wide receivers? I wonder if LSU bagged Tristan Keys, because it don't sound like he's going anywhere.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, why would, that makes sense.
But if Tristan Keys wanted to come to Oklahoma on the cheap, I would take that.
Oh, yeah, I'd take him too. There's a few wide receivers I'd take from Oklahoma. I would like Oklahoma to also lay hands on, was it Pettit out there in Florida?
Jaden Pettit.
I would like Dandridge. Dandridge would
be
nice.
That kid is elite.
Dandridge, I would like him as well. But I think you got to look at the pecking order of who you want to pay, especially now that revenue share is here. Who makes the most sense to go after? You're going to go interior. You're going to go defensive line, O-line, quarterback.
Wide receivers are you can find them anywhere. They're a diamond.
Right.
You can go into the portal and find you really good wide receivers. Here's my thing. I think the era of Oklahoma chasing 5-star wide receivers is probably over, because they're going to cost you too much money. And in this era where you're going to have cap restrictions and everything else, they're going to focus that money on offensive linemen, defensive linemen, quarterbacks, and they're going to go find talented wide receivers in the portal that have produced, and then go grab you maybe 2 or 3 in each recruiting cycle that aren't going to break the bank.
Yep. And I think to go with that, there's one player that intrigues me that of course the Jandro brothers will be here. We need to get Bo to go ahead and get his commitment in. Braden Presley, one of the Presley brothers from Tulsa, okay, prep agenda, but Bixby kid. I am curious about him when he comes to visit. Have you heard anything on him as of late, PG?
Not a ton, other than that, from his earlier visits. The staff had really made an impression. I will say this. It's funny that everybody thinks the OK Preps agenda is over, because we kind of moved on from them. But, I think it's going to be okay, because I still really like where we're at for Overton. But Braden Presley, 6'1", 190 pounds. Kid is extremely athletic. I don't know if you went back and watched this film. Have you watched this film?
I did.
He's a Presley brother. It's just obnoxious to watch how they all are. Yeah.
Right? He's
not
he is. That's what Presley brothers are.
That should tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
That's what he is. Bishop, thanks a bunch for the $3.33 donation. Unfair Sports, Jay, Coop, and PG Spitting Fire. We appreciate it, my boy. You're always showing up and showing out for everybody. But yeah, we do have a little bit of an echo, and it sounds like it's coming from PG, because PG be always doing stuff.
I'm gonna tap out here, but I gotta go cook some dinner for the fam. But man, again, super excited. This is going to be a fun weekend, especially after whatever we saw last night on the basketball court. Obviously a good amount of thumbs up going on right now, and so Keep it up, guys. I'll let you continue, but to everybody in the chat, man, appreciate you guys for pulling in, and stay tuned because there's more coming.
Yep. I'm actually about to do the exact same. I need to go feed my face as well. PG's going to be putting together his list coming up soon. So keep your eyes open on that. Anything else that we need to know or prepare for, PG?
No, Oklahoma could be seeing some really big news. I think a lot of people would be focused on Valadin Sone not coming in this weekend for an OV. That was the potential 5-star defensive lineman that you were going to be going after. I will say this. Can't divulge into it too much, but there is a big time prospect on the defensive line that could be looking at Oklahoma. That would be a very suitable replacement for Valadin Sone. So that's all we're going to say. You're going to know who we're talking about when you see the news. So keep your eyes peeled. Could be dropping soon, but wouldn't worry too much about Sone not coming to campus this weekend.
Yeah, that sucks. I saw that he was at a camp. And when I saw that he was at a camp, I was like, yeah, he ain't coming to Oklahoma. He ain't coming for the visit this weekend. So that's fine. I'm not tripping on that, but I would have liked to have seen him here, but yeah, just did not work out for us. He was the one player that I was really excited about us trying to land. I know that we were in deep conversation with him, but I'm assuming that UGA got in there a little too hardcore and Oklahoma has to figure out a new way of getting around. So all right.
In Trojan fight, I'll say this. I can tell you for a fact the Oklahoma staff did not convince him to move to Oklahoma. There were other people that had kind of convinced them to do that. So was not the Oklahoma staff that convinced him to move out here. Just saying.
No, yeah. Oklahoma staff was surprised that he ended up moving. They were actually shocked when he told them that they were going to do that. But they was also dealing with some stuff out there in California. I mean, he had a whole season where half of his opponents were forfeiting because of they didn't want to play against him, which was pretty rude in their part. Yeah, it's just dumb. So, but yeah, Truth, you're right. It's getting old that Georgia's always finding a way to steal everybody's favorite players that they want on the defensive line. I'm going to sue Kirby Smart in some capacity. But anyway, y'all enjoy y'all's evening. I'm going to go find me some food. PG, let the people know where to find you as usual.
Yeah, y'all can find me right here on the YouTube, The PG Show. We do a lot of OU recruiting, and with the kind of week that we're about to have, maybe even the weeks following that, you're going to want to stay plugged in. Now, Thunder in the NBA Finals. If you guys like Thunder content, you guys got to come over to the Thunder Up podcast. Jay makes frequent appearances. Got Game 7 on Sunday. You know we will be celebrating on Sunday because the Thunder are going to close it out with a win.
Absolutely. So thanks for pulling up, hit the like button, new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5, and we will chop it up with all of you possibly on Sunday. If not, we may move it to Monday because the NBA Finals are going on. We'll see. But we'll talk soon. Peace.